Hey guys, thank you. Welcome to Mindful Conversations with Elia Bean. I have Ashlee Fay today. Oh my God, I am super excited to have you here. I read your story, your bio, and I just so inspired. And I can relate to you like so much, so much.
Thank
So I
you.
I want you to tell us your story. What's the story behind the inspirational woman?
Oh, yay. Thank you so much. I think like the story, it was never meant to be a thing, but it has become such a thing, which I'll get into. But I think the reason it's become such a thing is so many of us have been where I was. It's so
Mhm.
relatable. And so, um, when I first shared it, I never thought that it would be what it is, but it's just become such a big thing that everybody knows and everybody shares. So I love sharing it because, like I said, it's very relatable, I think, to so many people. But let's see, now it's been about 3.5 years. About 3.5 years ago, I sat at my kitchen table and I was about to do bills. And I got my checking account open with on my phone, and I had negative $54 in it. And it was just a moment for me. What's sad is, if I'm 100% honest with you, and that's who I am, I'm very
Mhm.
raw and real. I like to put everything out there. That wasn't the first time I'd hit negative, and we were just kind of living so paycheck to paycheck,
Mhm.
and that's just what it was. We were living paycheck to paycheck. And so I hit that negative $54. And whatever reason, that number to me, I was like, okay, what do I do? For me, that was praying, right? And so that's what I did. And I felt like I was supposed to go all in on my like side gig. I'm really crafty. I'm really good with my hands. And so I've been making these beautiful glitter tumblers for a long time. I'd made shirts for a long time, things like that. And so I felt like I was supposed to go all in on that, because I didn't want a full time job. My husband was special forces. And I was like, man, my kids, he's gone all the time. My
Mhm.
kids need me home.
Right.
And so I reluctantly went all in. Um, my fear was that I would be stuck in production of making those tumblers. And that's just not where I wanted to be. There was just beautiful glitter tumblers. They were really big craze. And so I knew I could make up the $54. I could post a tumbler. I sell them for about $54. So I was like, okay, well, I can make that up. But then I thought, I'm going to go all in on this, and I'm just going to see what I can do. And so I got online. I sold two. I think I sold two to make up the 54. And I bought more material with anything extra. And I started doing live sales. I started showing my tumblers online, and people could comment sold in the number, and the first one would get it. And so I started doing them once a week, and my page started to grow pretty quickly. And I started to sell out. It was like this crazy thing where people were coming to watch me sell these tumblers, and like fighting over who gets it first. Like, it was like a game, who could score these.
Wow.
It was crazy. I can't even explain like how I was feeling, because it was like I didn't really want to be in production, but yet this was working. And I told my husband I felt like something was missing, but I couldn't figure it out because we were doing better. I got our family out of financial struggle.
Mhm.
But one evening, I was doing a behind the scene lives where I make the product. I really wanted to include my customers and show them what I was doing. And so I was making the product, and someone asked me, they said, how did you get started? And instead of sharing with them how I had done this for like 15 years, I felt prompted to share the $54 story. And during this live, I started crying. I probably looked crazy, but I
Yeah.
started crying, and I shared with them how I was sitting at my kitchen counter. And that night, I told my husband, I'm like, I think I ruined my business. I don't think people are going to see me as a businesswoman anymore. I was very, up until that point, I would come and I would do the lives. I was very professional, as professional as I could be. I'm kind of a nerd. And so, you know,
Right.
as professional as I could be. But I cried and I shared that story, and I just thought I had messed up, and I kind of put too much out there. But I woke up the next morning to so many messages from women saying I inspired them. And my
Mhm.
page took like such a huge leap. And I was like, okay, light bulb. Like, if I can do this, I can teach all these other women to do this, and I can
Mhm.
share my story and start inspiring people. And so I opened a DIY club, and I started teaching women how to make and sell their own tumblers, because it had worked for me. I had hit 6 figures doing it. I knew I could teach it. They could too. So I helped multiple women hit 6 figures by doing exactly what I did. I got a lot of hate for that, which is funny. Like, a lot of people were like, why would you do that? You're taking customers away from yourself, and like, they couldn't understand it. And I really couldn't either. It was kind of like
Yeah.
this weird, like, I just felt like it was what I was supposed to do. And so I took some of these amazing women that I was teaching, and I put them on my page because I had a big following. And I thought, well, they could tap into my followers and make sales and sell their story, share their
Right.
story. And so I started putting them on my page. I started sharing my story more, and it became a thing. We hashtag 54 on everything. It's on my necklace. It's on all my shirts. Because it's our sign of hope and courage, and that, like, you can be at rock bottom. You can have nothing. I literally had nothing in my checking account, but I used what I had at the time, making tumblers, to kind of get up there and start doing things. Today we have 35 boutiques underneath Ashlee Fay Designs. I no longer make tumblers ever.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's really exciting for me, because I'll make them like every once in a while for fun. I'll like miss the start. But I have 35 boutiques under me that are on my page and the Ashlee Fay app. And I get to do speaking events with Marcus, and we get to travel the United States, hopefully the world next year, and just get to share our stories, because I know what it feels like to feel so broken. I
Mhm.
know what it feels like to feel stuck and be like I always had this feeling, and I share this a lot with people. It's like, I felt like I was meant for more, but I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know what to do. And then I would talk myself out of things and think, like, I'm just Ashlee. What can I do? And just, it was constantly for me. And it just took that negative $54 to like get me moving. But once I started moving, and I started realizing that I can fail and get back up, and that a fail is not the end of it. It's
Mhm.
just about getting up and keeping, to keep going. That is what gets you to where you want to be. And so I'm just very passionate now on my page about sharing the failures. Like, they've seen me cry and they've seen me mess up, because I think that social media doesn't show the whole picture. And you see these people, because that was always a thing for me. I would see them like, how are they doing that? How do they have everything together? How do they have it all figured out? I'm like, finally, I'm like, oh, they don't. They're just not showing it all. And so I like to
Mhm.
show parts of it where I'm struggling and being like, this is where I'm at. But you're going to see me rise. You're going to see me figure this out, because it
Mhm.
gives you, like, I am and if I can do this, you can do this. And so I love showing that side of it, and just being very real and raw, and hopefully that touches people. I think it touches most people, maybe not everybody, but
I think so. Yeah.
yeah, like, I hope it helps people to just know that, like, it's okay to not know exactly what you're doing. I never started this thinking, like, I'm going to have a big shopping network and I'm going to be a speaker. I knew in my heart I wanted to do something to help people and make an impact. Um,
Mm.
but sometimes you don't know where things are going to lead you, and you just have to start with what you have and just say yes to opportunities that come your way.
Absolutely. Wow. That's so inspiring. I mean, I don't know anybody that has not had their account on negative.
I know. I was like so embarrassed, like, sharing it,
No,
but
I
then,
mean,
like,
I've been there too. I've been there before. And so it's like you said, I just love how real you are. I
I
love
know
that
it was
you're
like,
just so real that you're able to show that vulnerability with everybody and be like, you know what? Like, yes, I was negative and you're probably negative right now, but hey, that didn't stop me.
yeah,
That actually pushed me to create more so that I could be more, so that
yeah.
I could be who I'm supposed to be right now.
Right? Had I not hit that, and it's not like I was like miserable, you know what I mean? Like, I have three
Right.
beautiful babies and a great husband and a great life, but I always felt like there was something more in me that I wasn't using. And that just kind of kicked my butt and made me get up and I'm like, I'm just tired of surviving. I want to live, I want to do things. And so that was kind of my moment of like, okay, I have to do something. And even though it's not what I wanted to do, I mean, it really wasn't. I enjoyed making the tumblers, but I wasn't passionate about that. But it's what I had. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to start there. Right. And like, that's turned into something so much more. But I think that moment for me of just saying like, I can do something, right? Like something.
Right. Because I feel like there is a lot of people out there that, including myself, sometimes they're like, well, maybe this is not what I'm really supposed to be doing. But right now, at the moment, this is what I need to be doing in order to get out of this situation. I have a few friends that, they lost their job, or they're trying to look for the perfect job, and they haven't found the perfect job yet. And so they go to a job with that attitude already, that this is not for me, this is not what I want to do. So, fuck it. I'm really not going to enjoy it. But instead of being, well, this is what I have. This is the resources, the tools that I have right now. I have to use this, what I have right now, so that I can create a better life for me. And this doesn't mean that I'm going to stay doing this. Like for you, it didn't mean that you were going to stay doing, making tumblers for the rest of your life. But it really, that helped you to have that discipline too, I would say. Yeah.
I tell people all the time, like what I have learned starting there is so valuable. I mean, had you handed me Ashlee Fay Designs, the 35 boutique shopping network, the app, right? 3 years ago, it would have crumbled. I wasn't prepared for that. I needed to learn myself so that I could then help others. Like sometimes those situations where you're maybe not doing exactly what you want to do, they're preparing you to get to what you want to do. Though. And my biggest takeaway though, truly is when you have like that prompting to do something, you have that opportunity, you got to say yes. You've got to push past the self-doubt. You got to push past the fear. We have a saying with all my boutiques, and we say, think long-term, but act fast. And so we've all written out our vision of our future, of where we want to be. And mine's been being a speaker for a little while, right? And so anytime, and really just making an impact, doing mission trips, things like that. But anytime some kind of opportunity comes along, if it aligns with that, no matter how afraid I am, or no matter what self-doubt thoughts come into my head as, I can't be that girl. I can't do that. I'm just Ashlee, right? It doesn't matter. If it aligns with the vision, I just say yes. And I say yes very quickly so that I don't allow myself to have time to talk myself out of it. Because I think so many people want that vision in that like moment of like, I know my passion, I know my purpose, I know what I want to do. But then when that moment happens, they're either afraid, they're not like prepared to say yes, or they have that self-doubt, or maybe they're just too lazy.
I think what happens is that we get lazy. We get so comfortable that we want things like now. I want it now, and I want to wrap into, a cute with a little bow, and it's like, it doesn't happen like that. If this is what you want, you got to be prepared to pay the price for it. And in your case, it took you to hit rock bottom and have negative $54 in your account to say, okay, I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to pay the price for, whatever it takes to get us out of this place right now, out of this situation right now.
Absolutely.
And then it turned into something beautiful.
Thank you. I love it.
Like, wow.
I love, like, people always call it the QVC of Facebook because it is like a shopping network, but it's so much more than that. The biggest thing that I really kind of help these women with is sharing their story, because I know what my story has done for people, and I never dreamed that it would do that, and I know that they have beautiful stories. I mean, everybody does, right? And there's something about sharing it and being so vulnerable and connecting with people on that level that makes Ashlee Fay Designs so different and so
Mm.
beautiful. And like with Embrace Your Ambition, which is like my new venture, which is so we got my husband out of the military in May, yes, and I had my
Ooh,
first
really?
conference. Yeah. But let me tell you, if you like, we both felt like it was what we were meant to do. We prayed on it. We talked about it a lot. We felt like that's what we were meant to do. And then like after it happened, I'm like, did we do the wrong thing? Because when you take that like leap, it seems like everything kind of crashes for a
Yes.
while. I kind of like always, it's like it always, I've really learned that anytime things start to go wrong for us, it just means that we're about to level up because things are
Mm.
changing, like new levels, new devils, right? And even financially, like every time my business levels up, it gets hard again financially. I'm like, how is this happening? What in
Yeah.
the world? But you're hiring people and you're doing different things and marketing's costing more and
Mhm.
it's just a new level and you
Right.
have to learn new things and things are going to go wrong. And so like now when things get hard, I'm like, oh, cool. We're like leveling up. It's fine. So then we got my husband out of the military in May. I had my first conference in June. Right after that conference, like I knew going into that conference, I felt like that was my purpose, was to do these conferences with Marcus Black, and really touch lives. But after that conference, it was like such confirmation, like, yes, this is all I want to do forever and ever and ever. Of course, I have the shopping network, which my sister is in charge of. But it's like we got him out of the military, and then I took on this like massive thing that is a lot of finances and a lot of time and effort. And so it's just like I'm like, people think we're crazy. But there's something about like just going for it. I just want to show my girls that like go for things, like whether you're afraid, like it is so much better to be more afraid of missing opportunities than of failure, and like just
Mm.
going for it and just living that kind of life that is like, I'm doing it. Like I
I
don't know what's
love
gonna
that.
happen, but I'm doing it.
I love it. I love it. Yes, because most people stop themselves from doing things because of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fear of the unknown. And it's like, it is, scary, but is if you don't jump, if you don't take that leap of faith, then you're never gonna know what
yeah.
could have been.
Right.
Maybe that could have been really the life that you wanted, and you didn't do it because you were afraid of trying something new. You were afraid of saying yes to the possibilities.
Yeah.
And
Failure's
it's
scary, but
yeah,
I tell people like it's gonna happen.
yeah.
Bearer of bad news. The difference is that you got to get back up. Like the people that are succeeding, they're no different than you. They have failed over and over. I literally started my speech in Dallas and I was like, I have failed over and over and over again. But here I am on a stage with Trent Shelton, like living my dream. This is crazy because I just didn't stop. That's it. That's it. That's the secret. If you want to know, like, how do you get there? When you fall down, when you have a setback, learn from it and get up and keep going and document. I document all mine. I'm like the crazy person, but I just want to look back and be like, I got through it. I
Yeah,
remember that hard moment and I got up and I kept going,
right.
and so I have all these documented videos, but
I love that. How did your husband, how has he been a support system for you? Because
man,
I'm sure that you both are going through this together, and you both were going through it together, and you're still going through it together. How much of a support system is he for you?
man, he's been really amazing. Like when Ashlee Fay Designs started to take off, I remember telling him like, I think this is going to be something. And they understand my busy times. Like right now it's fourth quarter and I own boutiques with products. Right. And so this time of year, they don't really see mama a whole lot. I'm working constantly, but then come January, I'm free. Right. And so it's kind of, life is lived in seasons and they understand when I'm really busy and when they're going to have more free time with me. And he's been really supportive. I kind of love seeing him be Mr. Mom right now, since
I love
he's
that.
out of the military and he's helping the girls with their homework. And our goal is to get to homeschool them because EY is traveling so much. So,
Yeah.
we're trying, but
Yes.
he's really, really supportive.
Love that.
Like, I think I remember talking to him about him getting out of the military. And for, the past 15 years, I've been supporting him with special forces, and anything he wanted to do, I was always there. Right. And so when he was like, do you really want to be a speaker? Do you really want to do this? I'm like, yeah, I feel like it's my turn. That
Mm-hmm.
might sound really bad. Like, it's my turn.
Yes.
But he was just like, okay. Like, and I think it just stems from he's done so much, and I was the stay-at-home mom, and not that that's a bad thing, because
No.
obviously my babies are everything. But I had always wanted to go, do something for me, like have something. And so he's been really supportive and seeing it grow, and he helps with we still sell the DIY supplies. They're just like an extra bonus, to Ashlee Fay Designs. I have like 3 sides of the business, but he packs all of those. So he has to deal with glitter all the time, but it's pretty adorable that he does it
Oh,
all. And so, yeah, he's a good guy. And
I love that. I was talking to another friend today, and I love how it's turning more into the men, the masculine energy supporting the feminine energy,
yeah,
and really having, their wife, their girlfriend, whatever, and being like having her right here. I
yeah,
mean, I got you, babe. I got you.
yeah, I love it. And
I really love that. I love that, and I appreciate men that are so conscious
mhm.
to be able to do that for their wife, girlfriend, partner, whatever, and be like, like, I got you.
Yeah, we did a
This is your time to
podcast.
shine.
I know. That's what I felt like. I
Yeah.
felt like it was like my time. And that might sound really bad in a way, but like
No,
I
it's
really
not.
had supported him for so long, and so it was cool, to say like, I feel like it's my time. And he's like, okay, like it's your time. Like, let's do this. And so we did a podcast together, which was really cute. You'll have to listen to it. But I think it's great because my daughters are seeing me in such a different light.
Mhm.
And not that they didn't love me before or think I was great, but I was always volunteering at their school and kind of doing these things because I felt like I needed to, because I felt like I was a stay-at-home mom and that's what I
Right.
was supposed to do. And to see them kind of pretend like they're me and own a business, or like my 12-year-old who speaks on stage with me, to see her like want to do that, it's like it's crazy. And one of the things I kind of had in my head when things started to take off, I thought, man, like, am I being selfish for wanting more, and I thought, I should be at home with my babies. I should be happy with like with what I'm
Mhm.
doing. And that kind of went through my head a lot, but then I kind of put them in the business with me and kind of have taught them, and they've seen me be so happy, and I feel like I've become such
Right.
a better mom and a better wife because I'm doing something I'm so passionate about and living my purpose, and not just,
Right.
you know, being who I think I need to be.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Oh my God, I love that. That was perfect. Yes. Yeah, you're being an example, not just to your girls, but to many other little girls, to many other women out there that are, stay home moms. Like you said, being a stay home mom there's nothing wrong with that. I used to be a stay home mom. But yeah, there's so much more up there. There's so much more that we are meant to do. There's so much more that we are meant to be. and and being this is I feel like this is our time for women as a woman to shine, to
Yes.
really let that shine out and really embrace that, and embrace us together as sisters too. For a long time it was like women against women. It's like,
Yes.
like, oh, like the envy between, women, like even at work, like you even say like, oh, I work better with men than women. It's like, how could you? Why would you? It's like we're supposed to, be doing this together, uniting each other and really supporting each other and cheering each other up. It's like, oh, yay, like she's doing great, amazing. Like
Yeah.
she's another example. She's somebody up there that we can put up there and put it as an example for the rest of the other women and the rest of the other little girls, that they can see that they can be there too.
I love that. There's like this quote, I shared it on my wall a while ago, but it said something like, sis, she's not your competition. She's proof that you can do it too. And I was like, that is
Exactly.
so perfect.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to be your competition. I want to help you reach the top, you know? And so on Ashlee Fay Designs, that's what we talk about a lot. It's collaboration over competition. Like, let's show the world women can work together. Like, let's change the status quo. Let's show them what a group of women can do if we support one another instead of, you know, butting heads and trying to be the best one. It shouldn't be about that. I think that when I changed my mindset to really like the abundant mindset of believing like there's room for all of us at the top, and that's when I started having people on the page. And I remember the first 5 women that I asked, when I told them I was going to ask 5 more, we had to have a really deep conversation of just, we have to have that mentality of there's abundancy. And yes, these 5 women, some of them are doing the same thing you are doing, but it's not about that, because there's so many people in this world, right, to buy products, and we're all so different. We have different stories, and it's not about the product. And so I had to have this conversation with them, and we were all like, yes, let's add women. And obviously we've added more and more and more, because you would think like adding women might take away from my clients, you know, my customers. It never did. It always just expanded for all of us every time. There was never like, oh, we lost some of our customers to so-and-so. It just kept expanding for us.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's women supporting women.
Yes.
And that's how it should be. It's like, I feel like this is a new era. This is a new type of revolution. And I always feel that this kind of revolution is not to, you know, like when we had feminism, it was necessary. That movement was necessary for us to have a voice, for us to have rights. But this is a different type of revolution. This is more about unity. This is more about like, okay, we got this together. We have each other. We can do this together.
I love that. Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
I love having you.
Like, I love
Thank
that.
you so much, Ashlee. This has been amazing. You're so inspirational. You are truly, truly an inspiration to many women out there, many little girls out there, including your daughters. And I'm very thankful that you were able to give us some of your precious time over here, because I know you're a busy, busy woman. So thank you so much for being here and sharing some of your wisdom with us and sharing some of the vulnerability with us too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope that someone hears this and thinks, you know, if she did this, I can do this. And you don't have to have everything together. You don't have to know the next step. You know, you just have to take a step and start figuring it out along the way, and just believe in yourself. Like, I realized how capable I am. And I never saw that, you know, and now I'm like, man, I could have done this a long time ago, right? But have some belief in yourself. And like, if you need a cheerleader, like, I'm here for it. I got you. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashlee. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radical, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient NASET. NASET increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.